This is a Pixel 7 Pro, and here is a day in the life review. I'm heading to the first stop of the day. I'm meeting one of my favorite people and friends at a coffee shop called Plant Shed, which is kind of like this cozy coffee shop vibes, but then plants. Traveling with my crutch. I'm down to one crutch now, so making progress. It's been like about 3 weeks since the initial fracture, so it's actually starting to feel really good, so I'm stoked about that. It is so nice in here. Can I please have a pumpkin spice latte? I feel like the build of this phone definitely fits that coffee shop vibe. It looks very clean and minimal. It's actually very similar to the Pixel 6 Pro's build from last year, but instead of glass for the visor, it's now aluminum. And I feel like that's not only a nice aesthetic improvement, but they've also actually fixed how like flush it is with the device, so it feels a lot smoother. And I feel like this is now like the design aesthetic that we associate with Pixel. The display is very similar to the Pixel 6 Pro from last year, except now it's actually a little bit less curved. So curved displays aesthetically always look beautiful and very immersive, but the issue with them is that sometimes they make it harder to fit a case to the phone, and also sometimes there are more accidental touches because when you're holding the phone, you just naturally rest on part of the display. So the fact that it's curved this year, but less curved, means that you still get the immersive viewing angle, but you're now getting less accidental touches and a little bit more protection when you put a case on. I'm a fan of that as well. And the display is 25% brighter with a peak brightness of 1400 nits, which is awesome for outdoor use. It's 5:15. The battery's at 60%. We're at a really cute park. It's good vibes, but it's also silent. So we're gonna leave and go to a bookstore. Bookstore. I feel like one of the things that makes a Pixel is all the software features and all the optimization on that front. And so there actually are a lot of new features here. So you now have voice message transcription. So if you have that one friend that sends you tons of voice memos and then you find it inconvenient to listen to them when you're out and about, it will now actually transcribe what the voice memo says, so you can quickly at a glance see what they're talking about. I love that feature. That's just like a quality of life improvement that I think is going to impact a lot of people. You now also have an improved direct my call feature, and the recorder app is also improved to differentiate between multiple speakers. So if, for example, you're recording like a meeting or something, it's now clearer who's speaking when. That's a cool feature as well. It's 5:48. The phone is at 56%. Just left my friend. We went to a coffee shop and a bookstore. You know me, you know that bookstores and coffee shops are like casual magic to me, like so my vibe. They literally can make my entire day. Also, I've been testing out the phone, and I've noticed that when you zoom in to 5x zoom, the camera looks blurry at first, and then I think either it switches the lens or it sharpens the image, but then it looks clear again. So far video performance has been pretty impressive. I feel like that's one of the features on the phone that iPhone normally is better with in terms of camera quality. So gonna keep testing that. I'm also gonna take some night photos later in this video. With the Pixel 6 Pro, they started creating their own silicon tensor. In some ways that's amazing because it means more vertical integration for like the production line, but in other ways there have been some issues where I have found that the Pixel phones slow down over time, and that has been a universal issue. I know Marquez has talked about it, other tech YouTubers as well, and so fingers crossed that doesn't happen with this phone. Hopefully the new update with the G2 tensor chip improves that situation. And with a $300 price difference between the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro, I feel like camera performance is really where we need to see that improvement. It's getting dark out, which is amazing because I want to test out the night mode. I feel like with the Pixel, the two main things that really make a Pixel are the software features and then also the camera. And so I feel like that's kind of the thread line with all Pixel phones on if it's worth it, but especially with the Pixel 7 Pro because it's so much more expensive than the Pixel 7. Like $300 is a pretty big difference. And the main areas of difference are obviously the display, but then also camera performance, especially zoom. We have a 50 megapixel primary camera, a 48 megapixel telephoto with a 5x optical zoom. Last year it was 4x, so that's a little bit of an improvement. We also have a 12 megapixel ultra wide, which now has autofocus, so that should help with getting better photos for macro focus mode. And then the front-facing camera is a 10 megapixel camera, and it is very wide. At the event, we were all taking photos, and we were able to get a lot of people in it. Pixels have always been incredible for contrasty, out there, vibrant, like draw you in photos. And they also are really good for things like skin tone. Like they really care a lot about accurately depicting people's skin tones in photos, which I obviously also really care about a lot. They also focus a lot on like creating optimized reality situations where it's like, maybe the photo didn't actually look like that when you took it, Maybe it was actually a little blurry, but now they fixed it. So that's a feature that's coming just with the Pixel 7, 7 Pro, but eventually I could definitely see them rolling it out to other phones because it is a software feature, like you could apply it to photos that aren't taken on the Pixel. And then the new telephoto lens allows you to get better zoom. When you go to the maximum zoom range, it doesn't look great. It kind of looks like what Samsung phones look like at like 100x. Like, yes, you can technically zoom that far, but it's not gonna be like an excellent postable, wow, this is an awesome image shot. It's just like a wow, I want to like show you that I saw something or quickly capture something, and you can do that. The cinematic mode on here is pretty good depending on what subject you look at. So if you have a subject that has like a lot of complex edges or it's pretty small in the frame, I have found that it struggles, but with a subject where it's more apparent that there's a foreground background element, it does really well. And that's a feature that I feel like a lot of people are not going to use right now, but overall as they keep improving it, it's also going to help Google learn about edge detection, which I think will then affect portrait mode and just regular computational photography. Night mode is also definitely where this phone thrives, so I had to go out and take some night shots. It's beautiful out, amazing weather. I put on a flannel. We're fully in fall vibes and I'm loving it, and I'm gonna take some photos. Today was genuinely such an amazing, like, wholesome day. I feel so grateful for all of you for enabling all this stuff. And I've been noticing some stuff with the battery life on this phone. Like it's at 43% right now, so we gotta talk about that. The battery on here is 5,000 milliamp hours, and Google says that it should be a more than 24-hour phone. In this day of testing, I did a lot of stuff on this phone, including a lot of photo and video tests. Obviously, you've seen that. And it definitely lasted me until the end of the day, but I also got kind of a late start on the day. So I would say that it's definitely an all-day phone for me, but I don't think it's a phone that would last me 2 days with the type of stuff that I do on it. Whether it's worth the $300 increase over the Pixel 7, really comes down to if you really care about all the extra camera features, like the difference in the ultra wide and the zoom, and the display as well is a little bit better. If you like this day in the life review style, you can also check out my day in the life review with the Pixel 6a right here. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you, and I will catch you in the next one.